Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Now, here's John Truman Wolfe.
Hello, America. Welcome to the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. I am John Truman Wolfe. Great show for you today. We're going to talk to one of the states. I'm saying Southern California because I know I'm from Southern California, but really one of the nation's great entrepreneurs in areas of natural resources and going back into his years managing precious metals funds. But before we do that, let me do what I do at the beginning of each hour of the show, a review of today's financial markets. The Dow Jones closing at 26,652, down 353. For those of you that follow the Dow, it's been a roller coaster, up 200, down 300, up 400, down 500. So it's just treading water there in the 25,000, 26,000 range. The S&P closed at 32.36, off 40. Gold closed at 18.86, up 15.50. Silver at 22.64, minus 50 cents. Both of these precious metals have soared in the last week or so. Gold, of course, has been moving in a bull market fashion since essentially a year ago. I mean, it broke. The base on gold was 1,400 last summer, and I called that breakout at 1,400, and now it's pushing 1,900. Silver, modesty aside, I called the breakout at $19 a few days ago, and silver has been rocking and rolling here, close to $23 an ounce. Bitcoin closed at 96.07. All the cryptocurrencies were up. Bitcoin was up 238. Ethereum closed at 275, up $29. Ripple at 20.7 cents, up 3%. So certainly the commodities and the cryptocurrency markets are moving. The Dow Jones and the equities markets not so much, just kind of treading water. That said, let me move on to introducing our guest, a longtime friend of mine and a real entrepreneur in the real sense of the word. We have with us Kenneth J Gerbino. I stumble because I call him Ken. But Ken was a money manager for 45 years as a head of his own investment firm, was the founder and chairman of the American Economic Council, created with the passage and credited with the passage of the Gold Coin Act of 1984 that created the modern American Eagle coin. So those of you that have gold bullion coins, you have Ken to thank for it. He is currently the founder and chairman of Titan Oil Recovery, the world's first biodegradable technology to recover oil. We're going to talk at length with Ken, both about his company, Titan Oil, about the energy markets, and I'm going to pull on his knowledge of the precious metals markets. And we're going to come back and talk to Ken Gerbino right after these messages. Do stay with us, America.
In this time of global uncertainty, you need sound financial information to keep your investments, your future, as safe as possible. The Strategic Financial Intelligence Newsletter, created by John Truman Wolfe, #1 best-selling author and renowned financial consultant to governments around the world, is your most valuable asset. A monthly goldmine of the vital insight and insider information you need to stay on top. Right now, financial security is critical. That's why, for a limited time, we're dropping our price from $249 annually to just just $99. That includes access to the entire Strategic Financial Intelligence archives covering everything from precious metals, offshore banking, to cryptocurrencies, and the wildly heralded seminar on the covert agenda that has backed the U.S. dollar for at least 50 years, and more. Sign up now at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. That's strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
All right, folks, we're back. This is John Truman Wolf. We have with us today Kenneth J Gerbino. Kenny, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, John. How about yourself? Thanks for having me on your show.
It's our pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you both about the energy markets and a bit on precious metals. Let me start, Ken, by reading an article I just downloaded from Bloomberg yesterday. And I want to kind of start here and get your input on what's going on in the energy markets overall, and then hone down and talk about Titan oil recovery. But this article is entitled Big Oil's Worst Ever Loss Puts Historic BP Dividend Cut in Play. That was kind of the focus, that the British Petroleum may have to cut its dividend. But here's the article. For the first time since the West's 5 energy super majors were created in the early 2000s, all of them are set to post a quarterly loss. Once a money-making machine, Big Oil is now relying on ever-increasing amounts of debt, raising the pressure on the highly prized dividends. British Petroleum may cut its payout for the first time since the Deepwater Horizon disaster a decade ago. The sheer scale of global oil demand destruction, some 30 million barrels a day, or a third of regular usage in April, sent energy markets into a second quarter tailspin from which they've recently started to recover. Worse in a generation, oil prices combined with OPEC production cuts, collapsing refining margins, and millions of barrels of unsold crude mean facets of Big Oil's business has emerged unscathed. Look, the media, you and I both know the media loves to exaggerate and communicate tragedy, but I can't tell whether this is a false report or the industry's really in trouble. What's your take?
Well, the industry's in trouble, of course, but that's nothing new in the oil patch. I mean, it's a very cyclical industry. And what happens is when the going gets good, a lot of these companies, they borrow a lot of money, they go into debt, they go drilling like crazy everywhere, and they go on an acquisition binge. So it's typical. And now with the oil price coming down dramatically, it's gone back up quite a bit. I think we're close to 42. The Brent is $43. That's the price of oil with 2/3 of the world. So what they do is they start laying people off. They start cutting back on drilling, and they cut the dividends for a while. And then what happens is the greatest cure for low oil prices is low oil prices, because then all of a sudden the drilling stops, the production stops, and now then you're going to have a demand problem pretty soon, or a supply problem rather. And then the oil price goes back up, and they start making more money. But all these ups and downs since 2008 has made the industry very, very lean and mean, especially after 2014 when the oil price really collapsed from over 100 down to about $25. And so they were way overextended. They're not that overextended now, but they've lost a lot of money in shale. And shale production was a big part of the U.S. increase in oil, but shale was very expensive. So they lost a lot of money. When the oil price went down, those shale wells were uneconomic, except for maybe certain sections. So as oil goes back to $45, $50 a barrel, then you'll have the shale a little more profitable. But everyone's going to they're all going to be going forward very slowly now, because there's just so much stuff going on all over the world. The oil companies are very international, and they try to be like Switzerland. Oil is too important to the world to be political. you just have to. I mean, the whole world depends on oil. 100 million barrels a day, which is normal. It was down to 70 million barrels a day in April, but now the numbers are close to 80, 85, coming back pretty strongly. And so the big future, of course, in the oil demand sector is really going to be China and India. I mean, China right now, they have there's only 160 cars per 1,000 people in China. And in the U.S., it's about it's over 850 per 1,000. So,
wow.
So actually it's 900 per 1,000. So China's going to get there, and so when China doubles that, which could happen in 10 years, and you get those cars going just 50 miles a week, which is 7 miles a day. That's 5 million barrels a day of oil demand. So it's probably going to go up to 15 million barrels a day from China. Now the problem in the oil business is, there's two things. There's two things that people need to understand. And I'm going to preface this by talking about the electric car and about windmills and about solar. Windmills and solar are fantastic ways to get energy, no doubt about it. They may not be as efficient as the guys selling them are talking about, but it's clean energy. It's going to be expensive, but it's clean energy. The problem is storing the energy. You have to store that energy somewhere. So let's take a look at the storage, the energy storage you have in oil and the energy storage you have in batteries. And we're going to take the Tesla battery, the Powerwall, the best battery in the world. And when you compare, I just want to give you the example. When you take 100 million barrels of oil a day, which the world consumes, and if you take that away and have to put that into batteries, this is a mind-boggling statistic, okay? But it is true. If you take that away and you just have every human being in the world that has a Tesla battery, okay, they would need 71 tons of Tesla batteries. Each person in the world, 71 tons of Tesla batteries in their backyard to equal the amount of oil energy the whole world gets from oil. So now the problem with that is it's a lot of tons of lithium-ion batteries, but there's not enough lithium to make these batteries. The global lithium supply, the whole global reserve, according to the United States Geological Survey, which does the whole world, is, I don't want to get into too many numbers, but it's 16 million tons of lithium. Well, guess what? When you take lithium for paint and for iPhones and for computers and for the other stuff it does, there's a certain amount of lithium left over for batteries. There's only enough lithium in the world to have 5% of the global fleet electric cars, and that's it. That's as far as they're going to get. So we're going to have this oil, gasoline cars for a long, long, long time. The green movement does not see this or talk about it. So it's important for me, my solution to this is, hey, let the oil companies finance planting trees all over the world. But we'll get to that, I think, that later.
Ken, hold that thought. We're talking to Kenneth J Gerbino, chairman of Titan Oil Recovery. We're talking about the energy markets. We're going to also talk a bit about precious metals. I'm John Truman Wolf, and we will be right back after this.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com, 310-873-4422.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. My dear friends, today things are so confusing. It's enough to boggle the mind. That's why it's vitally important. In fact, it's an absolute imperative that you indulge in brain food, provided by the noted Institute of Good Times and Great Yum Yums, Columbo's. Just come on down. Columbo's provides the remedies and elixirs, such as mouth-watering steaks, incredibly edible seafood, Columbo's family secret Italian specialties, and the pièce de resistance, the world's greatest meatballs. Imagine margaritas on the Columbo's patio, cerveza and other liquid refreshments, or take your pick and bring it all back home and enjoy the great indoors. Columbo's, saving the world from gloom and doom with great grub and glee. Happy, happy, happy Columbo's. Mangia bene.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. That's 800-932-1597.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm John Truman Wolf. We're talking with Ken Gerbino, the chairman of Titan Oil Recovery, who just gave us kind of a summary of the energy demands on the planet. One question, Ken, and then I want to talk about Titan. Is the United States still the biggest oil exporter? There was some point at which that was being touted. Is that still true?
Not really. The export countries are really in the Middle East and Canada and Saudi Arabia and those countries. The U.S. This is important. The United States consume. I'm talking about before COVID, just normal. The United States consumes 20 million barrels of oil every day. And we produced at the high of the shale boom 14 million barrels a day. So we were still importing 6 million barrels per day. So that's the bottom line. But from that 14 million barrels that we were producing, some of that was actually being exported as well. So number one, we're not energy independent yet. We're way away from that. But so even though we're importing oil and oil derivatives from certain countries, some of the guys in Louisiana and the Dakotas and Texas are also exporting some oil to outside the different places. So, but even though you're exporting oil, you'd sound like, well, why are we exporting oil if we're still importing it? Well, it's because one company's doing one thing and other guys are doing the other. So, but those are the basic numbers.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What about the quote, the average Joe? What does he do if he's looking to put some energy stocks into his 401k or IRA? Is it a good time to do that or not necessarily? I mean, Exxon,
yes,
one of the
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think it's a good time to do that, and I think what they should do is there's an old expression at the racetrack called go with the chalk, and what that means is go with the favorites. So They used to have the odds at a racetrack. The guys up there in a big blackboard with chalk, making changes and racing it. So it's an old Wall Street expression too, when they had that, but before electronics. So go with the chalk. Buy the big companies. Buy the Halliburtons, the Baker Hughes, the Schlumbergers, the service companies, and you can buy some of the big companies. Buy the companies with the least amount of debt. But they're all going to come back. They're all going to make plenty of money, and it's going to be it's a very vital commodity right now. And I have a feeling once they get this concept of spending a little bit of money from the barrels that they sell and the oil, the gasoline that they sell, and using that to plant trees to suck up all the CO2 that's created, I think the whole world's going to like these guys a lot better. So I mean, there's for 30. Just to give you the number, for 30 cents a barrel, the top 1,000 oil companies can plant enough trees to bring us back to 1960 CO2 levels. And by the way, that might not even be enough CO2. So it's so simple. They just go out and plant trees with NGOs all over the world. A lot of trees. But so what?
It's a great plan, and it's.
I think the oil sector is a great place to be, and also the precious metal stocks as well. And so there's no doubt about it. With all the money being pumped into the country, the numbers are astronomical, and that's why gold is going up. I'm going to give you some numbers that I did for the show. Back in the 1960s, the amount of money supply per person in the United States was only $834. That's per person. And that money circulated, and people did very well. Teachers, bus drivers, guys that had a lot of money did very great. Everything, the purchasing power back then was fantastic for the average person. Today, it's gone from $834 per person, and believe me, nobody was starving. It was good. It's now at $51,000 per person.
Jesus.
So the money supply has gone up 61 times, but the population has only gone up 65%. And this massive increase in money per person has destroyed the lower and middle income earners. It has distributed that money to the banks, the corporations, and wealthy people, which is fine, but they didn't need the help. So this paper money system has destroyed the lower and middle income earners. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Now, having said that, rich people and smart people should get richer. I mean, it's okay. They got a better education. They're smarter. That's fine. But it's a wipeout now. It's now a wipeout. And I'll give you the numbers on a percent of U.S. national income from the bottom 90% in the 19th.
Hold that thought. We're going to take another break, and we're going to be back with Ken Gerbino, chairman of Titan Oil Recovery. That's a stunning statistic. I mean, stunning. All right, we'll be back right after this, folks. Stay with us.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Attention Italian food lovers. Angelo's and Vinci's Ristorante in Fullerton, California is open for takeout with wine. Can you believe it? Angelo's and Vinci's Takeout is now able to offer you a nice bottle of wine to enjoy with your meal. Order today and get 1/2 price on our special selection of Pinot Grigio, Chianti, Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot. Mamma mia! Order today at Angelo's and Vinci's from our complete award-winning menu and get some great wine for 1/2 price. We hope you're healthy and safe. We want to keep you well-fed. Wapo's To-Go Kitchen is open from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day, or you can order through DoorDash. Pizza dough, bread, sauces still being made fresh every day. Angelo's and Vinci's named Best Italian Restaurant on the Orange County Hot List. Call 714-879-4022. Angelo's and Vinci's, 550 North Harbor in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022. That's 714-879-4022.
In this time of global uncertainty, you need sound financial information to keep your investments, your future, as safe as possible. The Strategic Financial Intelligence Newsletter, created by John Truman Wolfe, #1 best-selling author and renowned financial consultant to governments around the world, is your most valuable asset. A monthly goldmine of the vital insight and insider information you need to stay on top. Right now, financial security is critical. That's why, for a limited time, we're dropping our price from $249 annually to just $99. That includes access to the entire Strategic Financial Intelligence archives, covering everything from precious metals, offshore banking, to cryptocurrencies, and the wildly heralded seminar on the covert agenda that has backed the U.S. dollar for at least 50 years, and more. Sign up now at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. That's strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. We're talking to Ken Gerbino, chairman of Titan Oil Recovery. We've been going over the energy markets and what, among other things, and Ken didn't get into it specifically, but the Fed has done over the last several months. I think they've pumped somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 trillion, that's with the T, folks, dollars into. Now, whether or not it's gone into the economy or not is a different subject. But Kenny, I'd like to get in and talk some about Titan Oil Recovery. This is a fantastic company that's doing something totally unusual that's nobody else is doing in the energy market. Tell us about Titan, and I would be interested to know, how you converted from being a money manager down in Beverly Hills and overseeing gold funds and so forth to becoming the chairman of an alternative, I don't know if that's the right word, alternative energy company. How did that happen?
Well, it happened because, years ago I had a venture fund and I also had a private equity fund. And so some scientists came to me with this concept and said, we'd like you to raise money for us. And I looked at it, and back then I didn't realize, as a money manager, you know a lot about every industry because all you do is read annual reports. But I didn't know two things about the oil industry that nobody knows outside of the industry. Even most guys on Wall Street are flabbergasted. And that is that 65% of all the oil in the world that's discovered never comes out of the ground. The recovery, the global recovery for Texas, Saudi Arabia, everywhere is only 35%.
Wow.
That other 65 is trapped. It's like, and so number one and number two is every oil field in the world after 2 years of production goes into an unstoppable production decline. The global average is about 6% per year. So they said our technology can change all that. We can get trapped oil, and we can stop production declines. And I said, show me more. So I did a lot of due diligence, and I said, guys, this is unbelievable. And they had some results. They had results in the North Sea. They had results in Australia. They had results in Alaska and Texas. I said, I'm in, but I want to form a new company. I want to bring in some muscle. It's bigger than you guys, bigger than me. This could be a $1 zillion company someday. So then I started the company a long time ago, and my money management style back then was really, we're not traders. We just buy and hold. We do what Warren Buffett does. We find value in the ground. We were just doing precious metal mining stocks and copper and zinc and lead. We find, deposits in the ground that are worth X, a lot more than the price of the stock, and we buy and we hold. So that's all we did. So I had plenty of time to do everything else because keeping up with those companies in our portfolio was very easy because we're not traders. And so with more and more and more, the Titan story got bigger and bigger. So then I decided to stop managing money. Most of my clients I put into the company anyway. So it's sort of like I'm still with these people. So, so that's it. So I was the founder and chairman of the company. It's biodegradable, and it's a fantastic technology, and we think it's going to change the industry. It's going to allow oil to come out of the ground from a biodegradable process that's very fast, it's inexpensive, and it works. We've been on 48 oil fields on 4 continents, and we've done over 300 commercial oil wells, and the average increase in production has been 92%.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fantastic results. The problem is it's very tough. The oil industry, even though you're showing them great stuff, you're showing the guys at the bottom of the on the totem pole, the engineers of a local field. But it still takes time to break through and get adopted. So we're about ready to go. And after this COVID thing slows down, we'll be on 9 countries. So this is a good year for us and going forward. So we're very excited. We've got Halliburton, the second largest oil service company in the world, is our partner in Canada. And we have Hunting Energy Services, the oldest oil service company in the world. They're our partner in 23 countries. So Hunting is out there, taking us into their customer base. So it's very good offshore and onshore. And as I say, it's very inexpensive to do, and it's very inexpensive to pilot. So oil companies, but they can get that thing out. I'll tell you what it is. If you can imagine a golf ball stuck inside of a Coke bottle, that's the entire oil industry. These oil reservoirs are not lakes or pools. They're hard rock, sandstone, and carbonates.
And you use microbes to get this stuff out, yes?
Yes, we use microbiology. What we do is in the tiny spaces between the sand grains is the oil, and they're trying to get that out, but the oil globule is too big. So but living down there are microbes with no oxygen, and we have a formula different for each field and different for different species that are different all over the world, and we feed these microbes a certain nutrient package, which makes them multiply like crazy. One becomes 1 billion in 24 hours. Wow. I'll tell you how small these guys. This is how small these guys are. If you take a tablespoon of garden soil in your backyard, there will be 1 trillion microbes that you can't see in that tablespoon. It's mind-boggling. But they're down there in the oil reservoirs, and we feed them, and we feed them this package, and they multiply like crazy, and then they're living next to water and the rock surface. And after we feed them, they don't want to be next to the rock and water anymore. They want more oil on their skin. They want to be next to oil. So they surround the golf ball, basically, the oil globule, and they physically deform it into little tiny BBs. And now the little BBs can escape from that. It's called a pore space, and it can come up the pipes. So it's really elegant technology, and it has no problems with corrosion because they're anaerobic. In other words, there's no oxygen. So if any of them ever come to the surface, they can't cause any problems. And But microbes are an incredible world. You know, the microbes on your body, believe it or not, are the ones that are fighting the COVID. So if you're a healthy person and have a good mental attitude, you know your cells are happier, and if your cells are happy and your microbes are happy, well, not quite, but your cells produce microbes, and
I get the idea. All right, folks, we're talking to Ken Gerbino, the chairman of Titan Oil Recovery, and we're talking about how his technology helps oil companies release the 65% of oil that doesn't get to the surface. I'm John Truman Wolf. We will be right back.
How would you like to save up to $500 on your next vacation package? Any vacation package anywhere in the world. Just call Superior Travel and mention the code RADIO and save up to $500. We'll design a custom, fantastic vacation just for you with all the bells and whistles. Not some cookie-cutter vacation, but a unique, all-included vacation customized by one of our exclusive travel experts. And our service is completely free. You pay nothing more. So why waste your time? Let us do it for you. We've got over 100 years of travel experience to help create the perfect trip for you. Call now and learn how to save up to $500 on your next custom vacation. Pick up the phone, call Superior Travel, and use the code word RADIO.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
We're back, folks. I'm John Truman Wolf. We're talking to Ken Gerbino, the chairman of Titan Oil Recovery. Ken, we're into the last segment here. I want to ask two questions before we end off the interview. One is, are there any competitors of this technology that you provide to the oil companies? And then the second thing is, I'm presuming it's a private company. Can people invest in Titan? Those are my two questions.
Yeah, I'll tackle the second one first. Yeah, they really can. It's we're not even allowed to promote for investments on because of Securities Exchange Commission stuff. But we are private, and so I guess people could go to our website and perhaps contact. But we really can't even go there. We're not allowed to promote it like that at all. But we're so anyway. So yeah, that's about that.
Well, let me just encourage. I mean, obviously you're not promoting anything, but let me encourage listeners to go to that website. It's a gorgeous website, by the way. I don't know who made it, but they did a wonderful job. And take a look around, folks. It's an exciting company. So I'll just say that.
Okay. Yeah.
Back to the
the first
other question.
Yeah, the first question is the answer is probably no. There has been microbial enhanced oil recovery done in the past, but they didn't really have, they were putting molasses down and doing it all the wrong way, and it never really took on. They were plugging oil fields. So our technology is 180 degrees different than anything ever done before. We also have 7 patents. We also have trade secrets and know-how, and the formula is different. It's like the Coke formula. The Coke formula, you can take a bottle of Coke to the best chemist in the world, figure out the formula. And the reason for that is there's something called mass spectrometry. And mass spectrometry is where you put stuff into these sophisticated machines, and they tell you what's in there, but they can only tell you the elements. They can't tell you the molecules. Unless you're looking for a specific molecule, then they can figure it out. So there's about 1 trillion times 500 trillion different combinations. I don't know how our guys ever figured that out, but they did. So we have the trade secrets, we have the patents, and so we don't really think there's a couple of microbial guys out there. They're still in the laboratory. We've been on, we've been in 48 oil fields, going on about 75 oil fields by the end of by mid next year. So we're pretty far ahead of the pack, and we think it'll change the industry dramatically. And it's very important because we're going to run out of oil. Yeah, the oil price is going to be going to $150, $200 a barrel. The electric car is not going to. It's going to be a very small percentage. The hydrogen car, they can't do the hydrogen car for more than 6% of the global fleet because there's not enough platinum to run the hydrogen motor. They're going to run out of platinum all over the world. So you're going to at most have hydrogen and electric cars 10 or 11% of the world's fleet, which is great because it's clean energy. But we on our board of advisors is the Nobel laureate in chemistry, Dr. Alan Hager. He told me at lunch, the world needs a new form of energy, and it hasn't been discovered yet. And we better find it, and it has to be portable. So it is mankind is facing a disaster in the next 20 or 30 years if we don't find this new energy source. Now, Titan at least will keep the oil price, we believe, below $100 for 100 years. Because I'll tell you, how much oil is trapped in these fields? Here's the number. It's 6 trillion barrels of oil. And at $40 a barrel, it's 6 times 4 is it's $300 trillion worth of trapped oil sitting there. We can't get all of it. But there's a lot of oil there that's needed by civilization to keep people warm in the winter, to keep them cool in the summer, and to run all the ships. But for me, unfortunately, hydrocarbons release CO2. So, CO2 is good for trees and plants and everything. But if the global warming guys are even close, I think there's a great book out there called Lukewarm, saying that things aren't as bad as it may seem, and the hype on this stuff is a little bit beyond, as hype on everything goes a little bit beyond the reality. But at least planting trees will give us great oxygen sources in the future. And they're cutting down a lot of these rainforests. It's 80,000 acres a day. Yeah. And if they took 10 cents a barrel, 10 cents a gallon of gasoline, they could sequester. The oil companies could give the money to NGOs who hate them, but now the NGOs are going to love them, and they could sequester. The NGOs could buy all the rainforests in the world, and even from dictators. They've given so much money that dictators would love it. And so you sequester the rainforests, and now you're going to save the planet from a disaster. And the oil companies are going to do that because they have the money. 30 cents a barrel is chicken feed. And here's another beautiful thing about planting trees. If they just took 2% of the trees that they planted and made them fruit trees, the fruit trees would take 800 million people that are starving to death and get them off. They won't be starving anymore because they could eat the fruit off the trees or trade the fruit for other stuff. So to me, I think the oil companies, which everybody hates, are going to be the most important industry in the world going forward. And
Kenny,
I think
we've come to the end of the segment, and I think you've got obviously some great ideas for the industry. And I'm not sure to what degree they listen to you, folks. We've been talking to Ken Gerbino. Go to his site, www.titanoilrecovery.com. Fascinating technology that is liberating some of the 65% of the found oil on the planet. Ken, thanks for being with us. I'm John Truman Wolf, and we'll be back with the final segment after this. Thanks, Ken.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 888-912-1332. 888-912-1332. 888-912-1332. Call right now. 888-912-1332.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? Newsflash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Hi, America. John Truman Wolf back for the last segment here. I want to talk a little bit. First, let me review what Ken Gerbino had to say. I think it's fantastic that he's got this technology that can release some of the 65% of the oil that's discovered that never gets out of the ground. And they can, if you listen to what he had to say, how they feed these microbes that actually wind up releasing oil out of the ground that was captured down there, and the normal drilling couldn't get it. Fascinating technology, really fascinating. I want to take the last couple of minutes here and talk about the precious metals markets. I've been touting gold and silver for some time. Gold, as I mentioned to Ken, back when it broke 1,400 several months ago, that was the beginning of the gold bull market. I called it, modesty aside, it breaks 1,400, it's going to run. So we sit here today with gold, I think it's 1886, very close to $1,900 an ounce. And believe me, in my opinion, this is just starting. I always put in the caveat, always check with your own financial advisor in terms of what you invest in, whether precious metals or something else. But going back now to silver, and said that when silver breaks $19, it's gonna be the formal commencement of the bull market in silver. And boy, that didn't take long at all. It right after I sent out a letter on that to my list. It broke at $19. I'm talking about last week, and it closed today at what was the figure? Almost $23 an ounce in a matter of days, 22 something. So for those of you that listened and want to know, about investments, get some gold, get some silver if you don't have it. You can go to you go to Google or some search engine and put in, precious metals bullion dealer or gold and silver bullion dealer, and they'll come up. I use a company called Monex down in Newport Beach, I think is where they are, MONEX. But do your own due diligence. Find a firm that you're comfortable with, and you can buy. Usually the best way to start, if you're not a holder of precious metals, is rounds, what are called 1 ounce rounds. They're silver rounds. They're actually branded as eagles. Every country, most major countries, have bullion coins in South America, Canada, the maple leaf, the Krugerrand in South America. I think in China it's called the panda. In Australia it's called the koala. In the United States it's called the eagle. So there are 1 ounce gold eagles, 1 ounce silver eagles. The gold eagles can be bought in fractions of an ounce. So I just encourage that. These markets have just started to run. It's my opinion that they will run more. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. But I think the precious metals have got a long way to run, and I would encourage you to get some wherever you're going to get them. All right, folks, that'll do it for this week. I am John Truman Wolf. This is the John Truman Wolf Financial Hour. The show is posted on YouTube and on a podcast, and we will see you next week with the John Truman Wolf Financial Hour. Have a great weekend. Be well.